you know, as a writer, I'm called a pantser. I don't plot.
That's what I am.
I just think it's more fun, not necessarily for you guys, because you're not in the process of writing it with me, but it's a heck of a lot more fun for me. There are times where I'm in the middle of a story thinking I know where it's going, and all of a sudden it's someplace else, and I go with it totally. I always go with wherever that flow seems to take me. So at this point, there are some things that I still don't know what's going to happen. I have this idea, but it may not come there. Right now, the fourth book is it's almost finished. I got to go through and polish it and send it off to the publisher. But from that point, I'm at a total blank sheet of paper as to where the next section is going to go. Because by now, there are definitely some things that have to start happening. They have to start going in order for there to be any kind of a conclusion or resolution or progress. So hopefully somewhere in there, the voices in my head come up with a good plot line.
What's the process you go through from starting the book to finishing the book?
Really, definitely. The first couple times I tried to write a novel, I failed miserably because I had an idea in my head. I wrote no outline, I wrote nothing. I just got my computer and went at it. And I got to about 10,000 words, and I was like, where is this going? I have no idea, I have no direction. I didn't care about the story anymore, and I put it away. But then when I started to do some research on specific things I knew I wanted in a particular novel, you know, because I started thinking about it a lot. Like before I would put pen to paper or type a word, I just keep thinking and thinking and thinking and kind of rehashing the idea around. And I started researching some of the topics I needed, and so I started writing down some of my research. I started writing down the points I found interesting, what I thought I was going to be able to use, and then I created a really rough outline, because a straight, full outline for me will not work. I feel so claustrophobic with that. I can't function with it. I feel like confined by it. But I felt that if I had a rough outline, at least some kind of guidelines, that as I started writing, and I knew the progression of the story, where it needed to go, that if I started getting off track, because sometimes your characters, they'll tell you one way that they want to go instead of how you wanted them to go. And you start getting off track a little bit, that outline that I did will get me, they're like guardrails. It's like, okay, well, I know I need to get back here, so you start directing your story back to where your outline is. And so for me, doing that research up front and doing just a really rough outline helped me tremendously to get to the end of that novel, to go from start to finish, and to have something I thought was quality work that I could stand behind. You know, I didn't lose interest, I didn't lose focus. My characters, when they started telling me where they wanted to go, what they wanted to do, it all just worked for me.
So you're saying that your characters, let them live the life, and you don't even know where they're going to go sometimes.
Yeah, no, you have the plan up front. You know, like you've got a plan, like, oh, I want this one to go this, you know, this is what this person's plan or part is. And then you get partway through the story, and all of a sudden that changes. I wrote one of the novels that I wrote, that happened about 2/3, 3/4 of the way through the book. I had a certain character in it, helping the main character. You know, he's kind of his buddy the whole way. And then it got to a point, and I was like, oh, this is who this guy is. And then that last part of the book, you know, that things are revealed, and it's like, wow, I didn't see that coming when I started it. But he developed that way and created, and everything just worked perfectly for that.
How about you, Mark? Same question.
I love the idea of the characters taking on their own life, because if you've given them a good background, backstory, some of that stuff doesn't even have to show up. It's just you are just creating a character, and when you do that, they do take a life on its own. I had my plot all lined up for fraternity fractures, and one day Justin just went off the rail, and he really just took over. And I had to stop, because now the whole story was going to take a different change. All this work, all this planning, all this plotting, but I trusted it, right? So I kind of sat back and I kind of looked at where's he going, you know? And it made sense where he was going. Of course, it's all subconscious. I didn't get possessed, but it's like that, you know? And I let him derail me. I let him tell me which direction. And it was a strange place that he took himself. But I like to start with I like to structure it in 3 acts, beginning, middle, and an end. With an arc between each act that kind of propels the next, the narrative. And I love historical novels. I like, when I read something, I like learning something, as I go. So I like to pepper my stories with historical facts and things like that. But I do a lot of research. But the main thing is giving the character a history. And like I said, a lot of times it doesn't even show up. You might want to put it in anyway as a flashback because it's kind of interesting, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But you've given them a history, and you've given them a scar on their elbow for a reason, or maybe not for a reason, who knows? But you give them a history, you give them a background, and that will help you move the story along. But yeah, I think it works well to have a plot, to have it structured, know what you want to go, what you want to say, and how you want to get there. But I think you have to be able to let the creative juices flow. And so when you need to make some changes, make some changes. This is your story. But it's really exciting when a character tells what to do. It really is.
As a female author, do you feel that like you're also pigeonholed into writing a little bit more towards the romantic type side when you're actually writing?
Well, that's a good question.
I don't. Because I'm expanding into erotic horror, but that's because I find sexuality empowering and I want to spread that message that we shouldn't be ashamed of our sexuality and we should express it.
Yeah, I think I'm drawn to romance, so that's why I wanted to write. But I think I don't think it would be too terribly intimidating to try and branch out if I wanted to. I do realize that there are other genres that are more dominated by men, but they're also very wide. The ones that I've talked to are very welcoming. Hey, you want to try this, you ought to try that. So I think it's not as pigeonholed maybe as it used to be. And I know there are men romance writers as well.
Oh, yes.
And
That's actually, I was going to ask you that
Yeah.
next, because I can name maybe 2. And
I know a couple, well, one just passed, rest in peace, but I know a couple of very good erotic romance authors that are males, and they sell way more than I do, and it's like, please tell me what you do here, But they have a very niche market. A lot of them do like the Danny erotica or the babysitter erotica, and it seems to sell really well.
yeah.
It's a little harder to break into the like paranormal erotica or gods and goddesses, the fantasy-based erotica. You have to find the right market and get the right people involved with it. And one other advice is read what you want to write. So especially in the beginning, you want to read other people that you want to aspire to be like, so you have a good idea of what the genre is. And then break the rules and learn where you can break the rules, because you don't want to be pigeonholed. And that's the great thing about being indie, is you do not have to stick to any one specific genre. You can mix it up.
Yeah, I like it's nice you can think outside the box a little bit and read authors that kind of break the rules a little bit, so you can see, okay, she was innovative here or he was innovative there, and then push that just a little bit and put your own spin on it, and it can really turn out well for you.
When you're writing a story, you don't write something global. It's one little location that you pick. You don't write about the entire planet because it's just too big, and you'll lose yourself in the story. You just can't. It's just too big. So when I'm writing now my Deadhead series about the apocalypse, instead of writing about a zombie apocalypse that's worldwide and creating a post-apocalypse world, I picked a location, which is what I learned, of course, from Star Trek. So I thought in my mind the best place for a zombie outbreak, I wanted to be up in the mountains with nice cool temperatures where I am up high and then the zombies are low. So my threat is when I come down off the mountain, they're waiting for me, but then hopefully then I'm going to be prepared. So that was my one location. So instead of saying, like, the entire world has an outbreak and mostly everybody's died, but I'm just writing, my focus is Colorado.
I totally, absolutely agree. It's got to be something you can contain. And anytime you're writing, you have to be able to put yourself in that scene. You have to be able to see it. You can't see the world. That's not your viewpoint. You have to have an awful lot of viewpoints.
Do you find that actually getting out and telling your books too, though?
I think it does. I mean, doing a whole circuit around the same area, you start seeing some of the same customers, and they'll start coming back like, hey, I really loved book 1. Let's check out book 2, and or like, hey, their friend comes by, or like somebody's brought, they're like, yeah, they said they really liked this book, and I'm like, great. So it can really help out, especially when a con, you actually talking to the people and just seeing what they liked and seeing them again is always a wonderful time, and they come back to it.
Well, because you said you got your book out and you're selling yourself now. So you're actually selling yourself in your book, right?
Yeah, well, you do. I mean, you do.
And as far as the networking goes, for me, reading readers is amazing. So that's amazing. Here we go. But meeting readers is amazing. The other thing is meeting other authors in the industry. They might be putting an anthology together, a box set together, and you can end up teaming up with them and working with them, and then you end up promoting each other. And it's amazing. It really gets you up.
Networking.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's how we find with the film. I mean, you just go, you talk to people. Like, hey, let's get together and do something. And you make friends. Like, that's... Yeah, well, I have a couple of those too. We don't talk about it. I'm in the business of making friends.
When I first started writing, I called it my nephew wall. And I had it as a sign of defiance. All the rejection letters that I got, I taped on my wall. And it's just insane amount. Publishers, agents, just deal with it. Just deal with it, Stephen King, right? He got rejected a million times, and then he finally got accepted, and all the agents and publishers, well, what do you got next? He's like, well, how about all these other novels you've rejected? It's very hard. But it's really difficult, and self-publishing, there's nothing wrong with self-publishing at all. I mean, you used to call it vanity press, right? Because you're just kind of doing your vanity, but it's not like that anymore. I mean, to self-publish doesn't have the dark cloud that it used to have on it, and it's getting more and more respect. And that's a really easy way to go too, and let the agent publisher find you. But you have to be prepared to do your own marketing. And
That I've got, it is completely self-published. For me, it was more of an experiment to see if I can do this, and if I can put out quality products. I've seen a lot of self-published works that it's ebook only, and covers suck, and the material inside is no better. But as Mark said, it's a whole lot better now. There's a lot of people that put out quality product. So that's what my book is now. And then the one I'm going to release in the fall is, but I'm actually going to put more money into it to make it so much better. I did have, on my actually every short story that's in that book has been rejected several times. Kind of like Mark, I don't have an FU wall, but I do have a file that I keep of everything I've submitted, and I got a ton of rejections on there. But you can't let it get you down, you got to keep trying. Last summer, I was able to have I pitched one of my novels to a small press, and they were like, hey, great, we want to see the manuscript, So I was really excited about it. I sent it to them, and they replied really quickly, and they were like, well, we're going to have to pass on this. And he wrote on there, he's like, you can write, but you can do better, and I'm going to critique the first four or five pages for you and show you what I mean. And that was so valuable to me, because so many times rejections are just like, hey, sorry, it's not for us. Thanks for trying. Maybe you'll find home somewhere else. He took the time to critique it and to say, hey, this is what, this isn't good. This isn't working for me. This isn't working for me. You're head hopping here. You're doing this. You're doing that. But that was the best rejection I've ever received, because I got valuable feedback that I was able to use and to write better from because of what they said. Most of the times you don't get that. That's one that stuck with me. I keep it, got it at home still in the envelope that they sent it back to me, the red marks all over it. But that's one of the things, if you truly believe in what you're doing and you're working on making your craft stronger, just keep going. Don't let those rejections get you down.
Did you say?
One of the things that really helped me is getting in a writing group. I belong to the St. Louis Writers Guild, and getting to meet other authors that already write that genre, you learn so much. Because when I put out Angel of Death, I was on my own. I didn't have any groups. I didn't know, so I hired the wrong type of editor. And then I learned later, so I redid it, and it's much better now. I didn't know there was difference in editors. I thought you hire an editor, they get it all nice and pretty, and then it's ready to go. That's what I thought they did, so I just assumed it was ready. No. I hired a content editor, and there was a thing called a line editor, and that's what I needed. It was a line editor to go in and make sure the punctuation was correct, that you didn't typo a word and didn't put where, you know,
Yeah,
type thing.
Bare minimum, we need 3 editors to finish it.
Yeah,
3
so-
people that aren't attached to the book need to finish the
Yeah,
book.
and then I learned about beta readers, and I learned so much for being part of a writing community. So writing community is number one important. Plus,
Absolutely.
writing is solitary. This gets you out and about and among people again. And being among people and living helps give you content for writing.
Yeah. And the thing with also with the editor, you need to hire an editor that likes your genre.
Yes.
Because if they don't like your genre, you're going to get some really weird feedback that's not going to fit in with what your average reader would like. So you really have to make sure you have to be a good fit with every aspect of the book production. You got to be a good fit with your genre. You have to have a good working relationship with even your cover designer. Even it has to all be a lot of give and take. So but yeah, beta readers especially are important. And again, like she said, with the communities, I've learned more, honestly, from other writers than I have in the smaller courses I've taken for writing. So,
And you will find if you're in a writing community, most of them are willing to help. Most of them are willing to give contacts to you. And as you make contacts, you will eventually find people that fit your budget, they're willing to work around, because most of us know writing doesn't pay the bills, unfortunately. Not in the beginning.
no.
Anything that you would give to any aspiring writers that are doing, or want to do things that you're doing?
Hang in there and be patient. You know, work to get that first draft done, because I think it gets a little bit easier after that. Once then, you can edit a little bit more. You can, look at that first draft and fix things up. And then just, be patient with the editing. Just because you finished the first draft doesn't mean you're done yet.
Yeah, if you're writing, step away from it. Like, step away from it for a week or a month, and then come back to it. And it will be all fresh and pretty, and this will all be work again. You're breaking kind of good. So yeah, but have fun with it. Just keep writing.
Yeah, keep writing is the biggest thing. Like, don't stop. I mean, just when you think you've created such a mess that you can never finish it, you'll finish it. Just don't give up.
Thank you very much. One other
Thanks, guys.
comment.